So today we'll be doing 6.6, the last section of the chapter, and this will be solving systems of inequalities. If you remember the inequalities, that was where on a coordinate plane I graphed a solid or a dashed line and I shaded it one direction or the other. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm actually going to be solving, though, for where the two graphing, like we're going to put two of them on the same plane and then try and figure out where the shaded regions intersect. So let's start with 1A here. My hint, again, is to look at it with an equal sign first and try to get it where it's y equals. So if it's y equals 3, I know that that is a horizontal line on the 3 mark vertically, right there. And since it is a less than or equal to sign, that does mean I get to have a solid straight line, not dashed. Okay, and since it doesn't go through 0, 0, I get to plug in my favorite point. And my favorite point is 0, 0. So is 0 less than or equal to 3? And the answer is yes. So in the past, I would have gone straight to coloring, right? Today what I want you to do is just draw arrows that point the direction it shades. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the other equation, or inequality I should say. So I subtract x from both sides, which lets it move to the right side, and that's going to give me y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 1. So if I graph that, that's up 1 y-intercept, and then down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, and you are going to have to put this all the way across the graph. There. And is it solid or dashed? It is solid, extra ink, and so now I can draw a line like so. Now let's figure out where it shades. It does not go through 0, 0, so that means I can plug in 0, 0. And let's see. 0 is bigger than or equal to negative 0 plus 1. Of course, negative 0 is just 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1. So I'm asking myself, is 0 bigger than 1? And the answer is no. 0 is not bigger than 1. So you can't shade towards the 0, so you need to shade away from the 0. And again, notice I just drew arrows, I didn't color it. So you should be kind of dividing your graph into 4 different sections, and you're going to ask yourself for each section if both of them shade there. It's kind of like the and inequalities where you had to ask yourself, you know, do they both work here, here, here? It's kind of like that. So, do they, let me get here. Do they both work in this little spot? No, neither one of them works. You can't shade there. What about here? Do they both work in this spot? No. This line works, but not that one. So you can't shade that one. What about here? Does this one work? Ah, it looks like that one does. So go ahead and shade there. Oops, here we go. There we go. And do they both work here? Looks like this line does, but not this one. So my final answer is just this section right here, nice and boldly colored in like so. And that's pretty much all you're doing today. Every once in a while you might get a case like, I think 2B is going to be the one that I want to do. First of all, it's not in y equals mx plus b form, so I need to do that first. So I subtract x, 6y is less than or equal to negative x plus 2. Divide everything by 6. Y is less than or equal to negative 1/6 x plus 3. And the reason I know that it is 1/6 x is I remember that I can put a coefficient of 1 there. That's always there, even though I don't always write it, which gives me that negative 1/6 with that x. All right, let's go ahead and graph. So I have the top line, which was rewritten, so plus 3, and then down 1, over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 1 over 6. There you go. Connect the dots. And is it dashed or solid? It is solid. Okay. All right, let's graph the second line. Up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down 1 over 6. Down 1 over 6. Up 1 over 6. There we go. And connect the dots again. I guess on that last one I didn't quite figure out yet which way it's shaded, so we'll do that now. 0, is that smaller than negative 1/6? Oops, that should have been 0 plus 3. So is 0 smaller than 3? Yes, so that means it gets to shade down. And let's see, I'm going to show my work for that one over here. 0 is greater than or equal to, question mark, negative 1/6 times 0 plus 7. So is 0 bigger than 7? Yeah, no, definitely not. So that line shades up. I'm noticing something. These ended up having parallel slopes. So what that tells me is that these two lines are never going to intersect. Also, what I'm noticing is that they're shading away from each other. So if they're never going to cross and they're currently shading the other way, that means there's never going to be an intersecting shaded region, which means the answer is no solution. All right, well, we will probably do the word problem in class together.